See, I'm already going above
It's
and
here.
beyond.
It's there. It's ready.
All right. Say that. So, welcome. I'm Kay.
I'm Chaz.
And we are Culture Content.
Let's go.
Today we have a special guest, Kylie Dixon, with us. She is a author. Welcome. How you doing? Can we get it? Right. We appreciate you joining us on the podcast. It's been a long time coming. You are a busybody, you know. I'll say it's been. So we had Terry on here, and it took Terry
Almost
about a year to get on.
Yeah.
And I think you like close to that year mark.
Hey, but I mean
you're here now.
But we're here.
Yeah, we're here now.
here.
That's what's important, and we got a lot of good information coming to you. We're gonna talk about your book, Krystal Key and the Camping Chaos.
Yes.
And we're gonna talk about bullying and the importance and how it is affecting our society today. And you know, no matter how old you are, you've been bullied at one point or another, or experienced some type of discrimination that can also be labeled as bullying, right? So we just definitely want to get into it because it's a topic another topic that our community does not talk about, and we don't address it with our kids and then the parents. So we want to get to the bottom of this, you know,
That's right.
and get some information and knowledge that'll help us overcome those obstacles when faced with bullying, right? So without further ado, again, welcome, Kylie Dixon.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna start it off simple. Tell us about yourself and how you got started. Like, what got you here today?
Okay. My name is Kylie Dixon. I'm a guidance counselor in an elementary school, and I've been a counselor in an urban setting for over 25 years.
Blessing.
And that's what I like working with, our kids that need the help.
Right.
That's very commendable, to be honest with you. To work in that long in education field is very commendable.
Yeah.
So we appreciate your service. Thank you.
Yeah, and we need more of our people teaching our kids about our culture.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right? Let's
Facts.
go. Like someone.
We need
like,
all point of view.
Right, exactly. Like I've known you, brother Art, you know, being from New York, so we got
That's right.
New
New
York,
Yorkers.
yeah, New York connection, New York vibe. You know, just that vibe. So
Say New
you
York
know,
in
right?
the house.
So we like your extended family for
Yes,
real, you know.
yes.
So it's a pleasure to have someone like you, like I said, just educating our kids and our youth because these are the kids that are gonna be our future, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're gonna change the world one day. At least that's
Right.
what we want
That's
them
what
to
we
do.
want.
Yeah,
that's
we
what
hope.
we want them to
We
do.
hope.
You know.
Yeah.
So tell us about your what got you inspired to write your book.
So what got me inspired was
Oh wait, well let's go into the name of the book again and everything.
Krystal Key and the Camping Chaos. This is the first book of many. But what got me here was over 25 years watching my young students be bullied and a school system that didn't really know how to address our kids, didn't know how to help them, but may talk to them briefly and send them back into a traumatic situation. And then somewhere in the 25 years, I wasn't bullied as a kid. So you may say, well, you don't know what I feel. You don't know what I'm going through. But then as an adult in the corporate world, in the workforce, started to experience some bullying from my administrators. And it got to the point where my hair was falling out. I didn't want to go to work. When I would get an email, it was like, you know, what do they want now? You know, what are they saying? They lied on me. A lot of times they tried to reduce my worth, you know? And so I knew what that felt like to feel sick and not want to go to work, to not want to be around those people, wonder, you know, be at work, wondering what are they thinking about me? Am I doing a good enough job? You know, and it starts lowering your self-esteem till instead of turning negative, I turned my negative into positive and wrote the book because I want to help others out there experiencing that, whether it's in the school system, in the work world, whatever it is. I want to be that help.
Yeah, I love that, especially the segue where, like I said earlier, you may not have been bullied as a kid, but you get bullied in the work environment, and
That's not talked about either.
Huh?
It's not talked about.
It's not talked about, but that also goes to like the managers and the leadership roles that these people are in, trying to have direct reports where they don't really know how to manage them or handle them, and I think that's a big part of any work environment. It's just the culture and just like you can't never get somebody to do more work by bullying them.
No, yeah.
Like that doesn't make them productive.
I say that all the time. I say it all the time.
Right, and then I think as a supervisor or any manager in a leadership position is provide your direct reports with resources that they need to do their job.
To do better.
Right. Like why would I try to, like, it gets frustrating, I get it, but why would I try to like attack you for an error or a mistake? You know what I mean? We work together. We got to fix it together.
That's right.
And a lot of people leave jobs not because of the company, but because of their managers.
That's a fact.
Right. So if anybody's a manager, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people are, like, take that into, the back of your mind. Like, yo, don't bully the people that work for you, right? Because you still need them to perform.
No matter what leadership role you're in, if you want the best productivity out of anybody, let them know that you're on their side.
Right.
Let them know I got your back. Whether it's the kid, whether it's your employee, whomever, you want to let them know I'm on your side so that they'll produce more.
Yeah, I know I'm talking a lot right now. I don't
It's
want
okay.
you to talk.
It's
But I
okay.
just had a situation just like that the other day where I had a resident who was upset with one of my direct reports, and whether she made the mistake or not, I simply was like, you know what? That was my decision to make. Even though you were working directly with her, it was my decision ultimately that gave her that direction. And, me and her, we have a good rapport because she knows that, like, look, I got your back. You know what I mean? I don't care what nobody says.
right.
I got you.
You let her know.
And she performs,
You let her know.
Right, 100%.
So when we talk about, I want to add something else too, but it comes with power though. When people feel like they have power over you, then they feel like they can, do X, Y, and Z, and that's where they wrong. So I'm gonna come to this question: what are your thoughts on the inequality attached to bullying? So bullying is not just happening in the school; it happened in the workplace. And sometimes when people feel like they have a leg up on you, then they feel they could talk down on you. Do you feel like the inequality is attached to bullying, or why do you think that even happens?
It definitely is. If somebody feels like they have that power, they feel empowered, they'll pick the weakest link. A lot of times. So there is an inequality there, like somebody that can't fight back, whether that's the school or in the workplace. So what I feel is, like I was saying earlier, no matter who you are and what position you're in, you have to be able to take your negative situation and turn it around for a positive.
Facts.
Because we all have power. I don't care.
Right.
You can be a custodian. You can be even a person out there on the street, whatever, not working. You can be a stay-at-home mom. You have the power to do something about your situation. So there is inequality out there, supposedly, but each person, we have the power to change that. And to still make positive choices for ourselves. So, it depends on how you see it.
So would you say that's your superpower?
That's my superpower. Definitely. Because I couldn't change my bosses. I couldn't change administration. But I could change how I respond to it. I could change what I did. Like, one thing throughout the book, it said it addresses do not hurt yourself or hurt anybody else. You don't want to turn to violence. You don't want to turn to suicide. But what you can do is turn it around for the good. So what I chose to do was turn it around for the good. I couldn't change them, but I could change myself.
Facts. And how you respond to them, because I told my students all the time, if you let people control you by words, they can control you forever. You know what I mean? Because they get into these verbal disuse with everybody, and you let somebody say one or two things, and they they get you all flustered, and now you want to fight, and now you want to do all this extra stuff, and you know what I mean? If it's not even true, or you're not even worried about it, why are you getting that mad?
So they controlled you. So you know
what I mean?
I refuse to allow them to control.
Exactly.
Me.
So I'm like, you got to take that power back. You can't let just people say stuff to you to get you off your, off your rocker. Otherwise, they can control you forever. And it's not just this situation. It's gonna be situations forever. If somebody can say something to you and they know that's gonna make you snap and they control you, you can't let words control you.
Right.
And that's just what it comes down to.
Yeah, just stop being so defensive about everything. Like the brain is a powerful vessel, not
it
vessel,
is.
but like probably one of the most powerful things in your body, right? And we don't utilize it in the right way. We just defensive. No, control what you have control over, right? And then what you can't, let it go.
Emotional intelligence.
Yeah,
it's important.
Emotional intelligence is real. It happens every day. So, as a parent, right? I know when I was growing up, I don't feel like I'm the most expressive person now, let alone back then as either,
As a kid.
And as a kid, my mom used to, how was your day? And, what happened? And I'm like, it's cool. It was all right. Yeah, talk to this person. Might have seen Chaz in the morning, seen Chaz at gym in high school, you know what I mean? But like, I wasn't opening up to her about like what was actually going on, right? So as a parent, how do you get your kids to express themselves more, to let them know like what's really happening, what's really going on in your day? Because I know it's not easy. I'm not a parent, but I mean, I know I was a kid that just wasn't, expressive, like I said, and putting it out there. Like, I wasn't being bullied at the time, but I do feel like there was a lot of things I could have talked about more that probably would have helped me get through a lot of situations, but I never did. So what are some steps that parents can take, and then what are some steps that kids can take to just be more vulnerable to being expressive?
So if you're a parent, you take interest in what your kids are going through, what they might like. It's not just about, okay, I go to work, they're kids, stay in the kids' place. You want to take interest in how was your day? Don't let it say good. You say, so what happened? Don't let it just be, good. You can say, well, tell me about it. I know for my son, he tries to tell me good. It was all right. And I'm like, well, tell me about it. When he broke up with his little girlfriend, I knew. So I wanted to take interest in him and let him know, I see you. I hear you. Like, I feel this mood. Like, this little face that I see, I feel it. And we have to take interest as parents and not just let them go because you don't want to take time with the kids. Oh my gosh, you're getting on my nerves. We want to take interest because you're shaping and molding them.
Right.
Facts.
You are the one that they're going to really ultimately look up to. Not the teachers, not this person over there. I want my kids to look up to me
you're
and say,
you're
wait a
the
minute,
first role model.
Yeah, that's right. My mom taught me this, or my dad taught me this. And take interest. Recognize if there's change in them. Are they not eating? Are they more angry? Are they more withdrawn? There are those telltale changes that, with different kids, each kid is different. So you want to pay attention to them. Let them know that you're on board with their growing up, with their lives. And for the kids, what they can do, we're going to be honest, not every kid has a parent at home that's paying attention to them. So if you have that at home as a kid, what you can do is find somebody in your school that you trust, your guidance counselor. It might be your principal, it might be your teacher. I wouldn't say just another student, because them as another student, they don't really know the answers and the resources because
they don't have any wisdom.
They're still
they're still growing just like you.
They're still growing up too, and other kids like, oh yeah, let's do this, and they do crazy things together. So find an adult that's responsible and confide in them. Confide in that adult. It could be at your school, it could be at your church, it could be at maybe a little side job, work world, in the workforce. So find somebody that you can trust that'll give you that positive influence and positive direction.
That's so important to have another outlet, you know what I mean? Other than, even if you do have, your mother and your father, your grandparents, it's always important to have another outlet for another perspective, a positive one.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because your parents might see things one way, but somebody else can give you a different perspective and give you a different way of life. You know what I mean? So I think that's very important. So I'm going to go into the next one. Now, we see a lot happening online with cyberbullying and things of that nature. Do you think society enables bullying?
It does. It does. We just open up everything, social media for our kids, and just allow anything to be put on social media. Like they can Google anything.
Yeah.
Sexual things, criminal things, how to do this, how to do that. So we as a society have enabled that. And that is dangerous. You're giving ammunition to little kids.
Facts.
Yeah.
You're giving all of this knowledge that they don't even know what to do with
Can't even
to little
process it.
kids.
You know what I mean?
So social media is at fault, but as a society, for us allowing it, we're at fault too.
Yeah. Do you think the numbers as well play a role in how's a kid's self-esteem, or how high or low the kid's self-esteem may be?
Yes, because if you take the numbers, like how many likes the kids might get, if they post a little video and they say, oh, I only got like 2 likes, that lowers their self-esteem.
Right.
And then that lowers some other things that they're going through in life and say, see, people don't like me anyway.
Right.
So on that end of it, they say, yep, it plays that big part of bullying, in that aspect. But then on the other end, you could take a kid and say, okay, I posted this video, there was 1,000 likes. And it might be a wrong video, a bad influence.
Right.
And they say, I'm going to keep doing that because look at the likes that
Look
it
at
got.
all the attention I'm getting just from this, this negative thing.
It seems like approval. So they're going to look for approval in their negativity. So.
There was something on Netflix that was talking about like the people who created Instagram and like the TikToks and stuff like that. They were saying like a lot of the execs left because it was just starting to be, the algorithms were just starting to be based off of negativity, like fighting, violence, and whatever the case is. And they were saying like originally that's not what they created.
It's just a
But then
way
that's
to
just
connect
what
with
it
people from
is
all over.
Right? But then it turned into what it is now, and I don't even think people care to acknowledge it anymore.
They don't.
It's just like, oh, like you said, I got my likes, I'm good. I feel better
Facts.
today, And I mean, there is a balance though, because I know when we get likes, I get excited.
Yeah.
But that's not. I don't care if y'all like us or not.
We're gonna do
But,
what we do.
yeah, we gonna do what we do. And we're gonna put the knowledge and information out there for y'all, like regardless of how y'all feel about it, because we feel like this is important to our community, But if you're not acknowledging that or don't have that high self-esteem where you're gonna watch us or not, I can see that can be very detrimental to how someone
Definitely.
perceives life, perceives themselves, their value, so that's it can be a real nasty tumble, if not addressed.
I mean, I try to post different things on whether it's Instagram or on Facebook, and I posted a video for marriages, for couples. I just believe, once you get married, like you can stay together, you can stick together. There's a lot of positive things about marriage, that people don't point out. So I posted this video. I think, no lie, I think it got like 48 likes. And I was like, man, people don't even want to see stuff like this. They don't want to hear about marriage.
They want to hear about the divorce. They want to hear about the controversy. You know what I mean?
They like drama.
But then there were videos on there talking about, premarital stuff and all kind of crazy stuff, and it was trending.
Right.
It was trending. So you take the stuff that could help you, people don't want it. But then that stuff that is crazy and out there, people, man, it was
solving at the mouth for it. It's crazy.
Yeah. I used to be so quiet.
Yeah. Me too.
I was so quiet.
Even to this day,
I feel like I'm an introvert. People say I'm an extrovert, but I feel like I'm an introvert. I feel like I'm an introvert extrovert. Like I'm comfortable in like situations sometimes, but like man, I like the people myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, as easy and as much as this is flowing, like I still get nervous. I don't like talking really.
I mean, you fix my shirt.
You'll be surprised. Like, I wasn't a talker. I'm like, why am I talking so much?
It's good though because you have information and knowledge that people need to be aware of, and that's where the expressiveness comes out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like you bring something to our culture and to our people, which needs
That's
to be
good.
put out
Yeah.
there. So.
Plus, it's the passion behind it. You know,
Yeah.
it's not like fake. You know, you didn't like, you know, learn this yesterday. You know, this is something you be doing for
25 years.
25 years plus.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you got you got some skin in the game for it. You know what I mean? Like
My trauma, my trauma, pushed me to my purpose.
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
we're back. We're here with Miss Callie. I was gonna say Sister Callie, but Miss Callie. Got a book. So the last thing on before we had a
Just in case y'all need to see
impromptu
that again.
commercial break that you don't see. We spoke about trending topics and how we value negativity so much. I think about some of the stuff that little girls or people in grade school may go through. You know what I mean? Like you may put a picture up that may have 2 or 3 likes, and the popular girl may have something that's like 100 likes or 50 likes or something, and that might diminish you a little bit, and they might make fun of you for that, and that's the type of stuff we don't obviously want to promote, and we don't want to see it, but we feel like that's so normal in our society. So why is negativity so socially acceptable these days?
Just like I was saying earlier, that it's entertaining. It's people that are already hurting. They want to see other people hurting.
Misery loves company.
And hurt people.
Right, and it builds them up. So I got 1,000 likes, but meanwhile, if you look into that person's history, I'm thinking about some young people that attended our school, and this girl was popular, very popular, but she was mean. And she was popular because people were trying to approve her and all of that because they were afraid of her.
So it's gonna be mean to them.
Yeah. So they want to stay under. I want to stay.
on her good graces type of-
Stay on her good graces. But she was mean, and she really wasn't likable. Where I try to tell the young people, even if you don't get likes, you're probably the most likable.
Right, exactly.
So instead of looking at that, I tell people change that negative to a positive, and look at the other people that do like you, your family, the other people around you, your teachers probably most likely like you, so because they're being treated mean, that almost erases all of the good stuff, and you don't let all the good stuff go because somebody's mean.
Facts.
And you, as a teacher, teachers like good kids. Teachers, right?
Yeah, I know. Oh my God,
So you
right?
automatically
So you
become their
definitely-
favorite, right?
Yep.
Exactly.
Meanwhile,
Yep.
but your immediate audience or the other kids, they like, oh, you're a teacher's pet. Meanwhile, you ain't got no money. You know what I mean? Like, why am I trying to impress you? So all I have to say is be the trendsetter, right?
That's right.
Don't follow the trend. Trendsetters, we set the trends.
Yeah,
bring it in, you know what I mean? Like, keep that.
No,
keep
for
that
real, like, that's
vibe.
what it
Like,
is. That's how it's supposed to be.
As much as I like that song, like it holds a lot of value to like how I think about people. Like I don't want to follow that wave. I don't want to follow that crowd. And I used to try to be that person to do that, but I got to that certain point where it was like, I'm gonna just do me.
Yeah, you get
And
mature
then-
enough and
Yeah.
like you comfortable to do what you want to do. You know what I mean? You don't have to follow or gravitate to
Look for acceptance.
exactly, man. I'm comfortable who I am. You know what I'm saying? I am who I am, and it is what it is. If you like me, or you don't.
That's right.
You know what I mean? You're not making me no money.
That's
I'm not losing no money. You know what I mean?
Two things that happened as a counselor for over 25 years.
25.
Yeah, 25. I know I'm a little that though, but no. But
Look good. That's it. Black don't crack.
25 years. Most of those mean people are the ones, the students that were getting the likes and the mean kids and all of that. I can tell you that most of those kids, my husband and I, we also do prison ministry. Most of those kids we see there.
Wow.
A lot of those kids, sad to say, ended up dead. Some of those females ended up just, pregnant with a couple kids, no means to really take care of themselves. So those mean kids really didn't have a good end, So you keep being nice. You keep turning your negative situation for the good. I always say the best revenge for your enemies is success. Be successful right in front of them.
I love to hear it.
Facts.
So, you, as we're talking about bullying, I feel like along with bullying comes suicide. if not handled appropriately. So someone who is being bullied and may have suicidal thoughts, what are some things that they can do or actions they can take to get out of that or shift their mindset to be more positive? Or, if someone is on the outside looking in trying to help them, like, what can they do?
So somebody, you may have suicidal thoughts, thoughts of wanting to end your life. I was honest to tell one of my students that I had that thought, when I was in college. And I was going through so much, and I thought that was my only out. I was just like, let's just end these problems. But I have to say, I'm a witness that trouble don't last always. Because now, all these years later, a few years later, I don't even remember what the problem was.
See?
The problem is gone, and I was telling my student that because she had to come to my office. This isn't breaching confidentiality because I'm not telling you her name and I'm not telling you her situation. But she told me that she said that she wanted to die. She wanted to commit suicide. And she was telling me her situation. And let me tell you, it did bring me to tears. But I told her my experience of having some thoughts before. I said, but the problems ended. I said, but if I would have ended my life then, I would not have experienced a great husband, having great kids. And I told her, and I wouldn't be here sharing my story to help you out today. And I just, hope that she heard that. She didn't have a plan, but she felt like she wanted to commit suicide. And the next day she came in. It like make me, come to tears almost thinking about it. But the next day she said, Miss Dixon, she said, you were right. She said, you needed to be here. I was like, oh my God. And that
testimony right
let
there,
me
man.
know that suicide would not have worked. It wouldn't have been the answer. Then I look at how many people I would have really hurt.
Right,
My family. And
friends.
then if it was a bully involved, the bullies would have won.
Give them that power.
So there's that story. But then I also want to say, if anybody have those thoughts of suicide or you just don't know where to turn, you can call 988, the suicide prevention line, and you could talk to somebody about it, and they'll have other resources for you. You can reach out to us at krystalkey.uwin@gmail.com. You can reach out to us. You can share your story. We'll hook you up with some other resources.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And I was actually just watching the interview my brother had told me to watch, and it was like Tom Hanks, Jamie Foxx was there, a couple other celebrities, and Tom Hanks was like, this too shall pass. Meaning that, like, no matter how good or how bad the situation is, like, you can be up one day, it shall pass.
Yeah.
You could be on top of the world making millions and
that's right.
be the hottest artist, hottest rapper, whoever. That time will pass. And then all I have to say on the negative end of that, whatever you're going through negative wise, that time too shall pass. And I've been using that or keeping that in my mental more and more, like when I'm going through work or going through my day, like, this will pass. I'm gonna control what I can and then just move on. Like, nothing, tough times don't last, tough people do.
It's funny you say, I was thinking that, when was the time I was going to say that, but no, that's true though.
Yeah.
It's true though.
So always keep that in mind and know that, like you said, people care about you. You are meant to do something on this earth, and don't cut yourself short, by one little incident,
It may be a lot of incidents. It may be while they're growing up, you don't know which way to turn because your family situation, and it just may be a whole mess. But you're not always going to be a young kid. For the young ones, you're not always going to be young. Or even with your job, you're not always at work. So things change and things do get better.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, you might have some tough situations at work, but like you're not going to be there forever. You know what I mean? It might be some things you don't want to do, and your manager's doing all this extra stuff, but like you have options, and don't ever limit yourself. You know what I mean? So go back to the book. What part of the book did you have the hardest time writing, and why?
For the book, writing it, there are different scenarios in the book. the hardest part was really coming up with the solution, because none of us have all the solutions.
No.
None of us have the answers. So it was writing that end part, how does this work out, for 'em. But in everything, what we just said, in everything, what Krystal Key says is you win. You win. There's a part of your story that you write,
Absolutely.
and you win. I don't care who you are in life. You can write that story. You can write the end, and you win.
I love that.
Yeah.
You control the outcome of your situation. And that's key. That was a good question.
Yeah. So another thing, obviously we want people to purchase this magnificent book, as you can see, right? But what is a takeaway you want people to get from it? You know what I mean? Besides, obviously we know it's about bullying, but what is another takeaway you want people to get from it?
So, if I could explain real quick, Krystal Key is a superhero, and she shows up on the scenes of bullying. In every scene that she shows up on, it comes out on top. They win. The person wins. So the takeaway is she gives the key. And when we do our seminars, and when we do assemblies, and when we do professional developments or small groups, we're handing each person, no matter if you're the victim or if you're the bully, we hand you a key, because the victims have the power to speak up and reach out for help.
Yeah.
We raise the voice of the victim to let them know you win. So you have that power to seek out help without hurting anybody, without hurting yourself, without any violence. You win. You have that key. That's why she's Krystal Key. You have that key to win. And then to the bullies, she hands the key to the bullies to let them know you have the key for knowledge to be released to you, like for empathy, for treating people like you want to be treated, for making the world better. So each one of us, we have the key to win. So the takeaway is that no matter what side you're on, you have the power to change it. And as far as a resource, I have the Dixon model that's within the book, and it's towards the back, but it's the Dixon model that I developed in 2007 that says diagnose or describe the problem or the situation.
Okay.
And then I put an intervention in place.
Intervention.
X, you want to X out your problem and replace with a solution. O, what outcomes are you looking for? You're not looking for being the loser. You're not looking for losing or just really being on the bottom, but you want the outcome to be you win.
Right.
And then N, nurture it. Nurture your plan. Like a doctor may give you some medicine and say, take this 10 days, and we're going to see if that goes away. And if they don't, you go back and tweak it. So you want to nurture your plan. See how it worked for 2 weeks or a month. And if something's not working, you go back and put a different intervention in place. So there are resources out here for us, the Dixon model, agencies, things like that. So there are strategies and agencies that we can reach out to.
I love that Dixon model. Yeah,
I
that
love
was
the
tough.
That was fire.
You're going to have to clip that
Yes.
and promote that.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that.
Definitely.
That was fire.
Yeah, because it's even in marriage and, how you're dealing with your family, work, school.
Yeah, you could
you
apply
take the
so
Dixon
many-
model and put it in place.
But you got to buy the book.
Gotta
You
buy a book.
gotta
buy the
purchase it.
book.
You know what I mean?
All
Yes,
right,
you're
that's the
changing the
only thing.
negative for the positive.
And speaking about buying the book, we spoke about this last week and some other times. How do you not let those negative people bully you into lowering the value of your book, and knowing that the product that you placed is worth more than what they're telling you is placed? How do you deal with those emotions?
So it was emotional for me because when the book came out, first of all, I didn't know what the cost would be. And so the book is thin, you see. But when it came out, it was at $15.95. Okay, so I thought, wow, $15.95. But I said, okay, I'll go with it. And for a while, it was $15.95. And after some time, it was going down 8 something, 7 something, until right now you can get it on Amazon. It's okay. Amazon for $3, I think, and 36 cents. In my opinion, that's a form of bullying,
Right,
because what bullies try to do is reduce your value, make you feel like nothing. make you feel like you're not worth anything, make you feel like your life is just trash. Just like them reducing my value, trying to reduce my value. But this is the same book that said $15.95,
Yeah.
$8.95, $3.33, $3.36. It's the same book, the same value. You're the same person. Whether those bullies say you're nothing, say you're nobody, talk about your situation, you are the same person and you are valued and you win. So how I'm going to handle that, reducing the price of my book, I'm going to enjoy it because we're getting T-shirts made saying better than $3.33.
There you go.
Better than, and we're going to get material out that say better than $3.33.
Right.
And on the back, we're going to put you win.
Right.
Because you win. No matter what situation you experience in life, you win. Life is meant to work for you.
Facts.
Negative to positive. And that's just what we doing. Just keeping that positive energy out there. Keeping that positive
That's right.
energy flowing. I love that.
Yeah.
You know
That's
what I mean?
right.
Don't let them dictate your value. That's it. In a nutshell. So this was that was a great example, you know, to why this book is even a testimony in the first place. Because like it's a proven facts. Somebody's still bullying you as you're trying to get
That's
this
right.
knowledge
That's
and
right.
information and
Trying to grow.
positivity
Yeah,
out
that's
there.
happening.
So what's your next book? What are your thoughts on the next book? Is it going to be in the same type of realm, or do you have other maybe topics that will be, how should I say this, that will benefit our community, you know, such as improving their self-esteem or their value, self-value?
So there are other books coming out. Now it might look like a children's book, but it's for all ages, 0 to 150. So it's for all ages, and there's going to be a series of these Krystal Key books. It's going to talk about the workplace. It's going to talk about in the community, you know, different arenas. You know, it'll you know, speak to different things. But even if it, like somebody say, I don't even like camping, but that's not even the point. The
Right.
point is that there's bullying in every situation, you know. So there will be other books. We hope somebody pick it up, you know, make a cartoon out of it, you know, to teach young people. Because one of the biggest things over my 25 years
Right.
is
Talk
that
stuff.
we found out that the kids have no coping skills. And what are they really teaching them? Yes, we want to raise our scores. You know, yes, we want them to be intelligent. Yes, we want to produce, you know, kids that are you know, have a good work ethic, all of that. Yes. But who's teaching them how to cope?
Yeah.
You know?
That
So
emotional intelligence that we're talking
definitely.
about. is
we
just
have to
non-existent.
teach them.
Question: do you think bullying has names or faces or anything, or like? Because I know we spoke about like how, you know, bullying is affected in our community, but it just don't happen there. Can you talk to us about that?
Right. Bullying, it doesn't have a color. It doesn't have like a socioeconomic, you know, tag on it. It doesn't have, you know, like you have a big house, little house. But bullying affects the black community, the white community, Asian, Indian, all the communities, African, all of it. All of us have experienced bullying in some aspect, you know, or another, you know. So you can't just say, well, I'm in my community, you know, you can live over there and wherever and say, well, you know, we don't have that here. But it affects all of us. All of us may feel the result of somebody who experienced bullying, you know, which Dr. Nadine, I think her name is Nadine, I can't remember her whole name, but she was the Surgeon General of California, and she talks about adverse childhood experiences, you know, and everybody has them.
Yeah.
You know, everybody has it, whether you're a kid and it happened and you're still experiencing it or dealing with it as an adult. We all have to deal with that kid or that adult that may shoot up a school or shoot up a business because they never learned to deal with their childhood trauma. You know, they never learned to deal with coping skills. You know, they never learned how to deal with, you know, handling a negative situation and making it positive. So we can't just say it's only in the black community. I hope every viewer will see that this is something that we all have to get on board with. We all have to say, you know what, I'm going to reach out. If I notice something this negative, if I notice something bad going on, I want to be the help.
Yeah.
You know, that can eliminate bullying altogether. We know it's not going to go away altogether, but we can sure work at it as a whole community.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Yeah.
It just because it's not happening for you, somebody you know is definitely experiencing it, because we as humans don't talk about it naturally, right? So always sonder, right? The definition of just understanding of walking in somebody else's shoes, you know, in their daily lifestyles. Like, you don't always express how you really feeling throughout the day. So imagine 20 other people you see throughout the day and how they actually feel.
And my sad is too, people think that racism, like, I don't care, you know, just because we were mentioning the black community, people say, I don't care, that's the black community, that don't have nothing to do with me. But racism and that hate, we all feel that, you know. So a white person can say, I don't care, racism, you know, yes, keep going and all of that, and following, you know, people with all that negativity. But a mass shooting, that bullet may have your name on it because of racism. It may have your child's name on it.
You know, yep.
It could even be, say, since you're putting all this hate out there, maybe somebody of another race might come after you because of your hate. So we got to eliminate bullying in all arenas.
Right. When you put out negative energy, you get negative energy in return. But no matter what race you are, who you are, that negative energy will come back. You know, and I'm a very firm believer in that. And honestly, that's one of the reasons why my life changed.
Right.
Stop doing bad stuff.
So you don't want all that coming back on you.
Nah, yeah, for real. Because it was hitting me tenfold at the same time.
Yeah.
I couldn't deal with it. So don't be beyond yourself and think that we're not talking about you.
Yeah.
It's about everybody. We're one race, regardless of the color of our skin, where we come from. Because if I always say this, and as silly as it is, like, if we get attacked from like somebody else in the world or in the universe, we gonna come together.
All in this together. Right. That's right.
There's no apocalypse. There's no you white, you Jewish, and black.
Everybody gonna be at the shelters.
So, everybody
Somewhere.
gonna be holding AKs and trying to defend each other, like, you know. Right. So if we only had that mentality just naturally, like, how much further we can go as a society, which, you know, sky's the limit. No, sky's not the limit. So, thank you. So I do want to do something. We purchased the book because we want to support black-owned, black businesses, and, you know, we want to support you for bringing information and knowledge to our audience, and just to bring this topic that we don't discuss. We haven't talked about it, you know. So I would like to get a book signed, you know, to Culture Content, or you could address it to me, you know, Kson at Culture Content, because you know how to spell my name. So, so what happened was, last week we had a bet that, you know, if she knew how to spell my name correctly, I would purchase a book, and if she didn't, I would get the book for free. So she clapped me. She definitely
spelled it correctly.
And if you know me, y'all know that's rare. So for someone to spell my name from beginning to end correctly, so I do appreciate you acknowledging the correct spelling of my name. And I will purchase. I'm purchasing a book, and you can write it to Culture Content.
Okay.
And and I appreciate you.
And may I say too, I appreciate what you two are doing too, because you're making a difference. You know, don't think that this doesn't reach many. So I appreciate
that.
Too.
Oh yeah, you know, we try. We try.
We try.
Even though we watching numbers, like I said, y'all gonna get this information whether you like it or not.
You gonna get this work. You gonna get this work.
And our numbers are not gonna determine if we're gonna put out another episode or not. We're gonna bring you black culture, black excellence, and we're gonna bring back Callie Dixon for us. Yes, we're going to talk about something. We need you to come back. Because it was just too flawless of an interview. And then we were rolling, you know, so we definitely appreciate that. So I guess we'll just end on
that note.
Yeah, we'll end it on that note. We appreciate you. And thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us where we can find you, you know, any type of resources you may have.
So Our agency, the mother agency, is Greater Horizons Family Services. We do counsel couples, we counsel families. But you can reach me if you know someone who's being bullied. You can email me at krystalkey.uwin@gmail.com or give us a call at 412-999-0446. Or if you're in a very bad situation, we do want you to reach out and get some support, suicide prevention, call 988. Or if you're in a domestic violence, there are violence prevention programs, reach out because there is help for you because you win.
Excellent.
I love how you ended that because
Yeah.
you win, right?
Yeah.
That's gonna be the title of this episode.
You win.
You win. You know, and we don't really do titles, but we can't pass that one up.
Thank you.
So again, we appreciate you, Sister Callie Dixon, for coming through. I'm Kay.
I'm Chaz.
And we are Culture Content. And if you didn't learn anything today, help somebody out, prevent them, talk to them, find out how they're feeling, prevent that bullying, and care about each other, love each other. You know, hug somebody today. You never know, they might